Hey everybody, and here we are at Chatting Trek episode 5. It's been 3 weeks since our last episode. Welcome. We've got a fair bit to unpack this episode, as we have 3 episodes of Star Trek Discovery to chat about, as well as 3 episodes of The Mandalorian, including the season finale of Mando, which went live last night. I can't wait to get into that one. That was just, blew us away anyway. But as always, I am not here alone. So please welcome my good friend from Queensland, G. G, how are you, mate?
I'm good, Scotty. How are you?
Yeah, good, man. Good.
Trying to navigate through the Queensland humidity from all that heat from Mandalorian. Like, oh, man. Wow. What a
I know.
What an emotional roller coaster that was last night. I tell you.
Wasn't it what? I was at the end of it, I've got, it's like, yeah, I'm done. I'm spent.
Yeah, I basically, finished it, and then I heard the rumor, wait till the end of the credits, and then I was already like, wow, this room's really dusty. Like there's wow. When
I had something stuck in the back of my throat.
Yeah, and then I see that, and then I just went, that's it. Star Wars just won 2020 and broke the internet. So
didn't it what?
Wow.
But and so, but also just a big hello out there to our usual cohort, Peter Budd. He's actually working today, so he can't. But being event people, we've got to take the work where we can get it. So he's working, so he won't be joining us. So it's just you and me tonight, mate.
Wow, no Peter.
What are we going to talk about?
I don't know. What are we going to this? What are we? How do we talk? What do we? Might be able to get a word in tonight, I think.
Yes.
Don't tell him I said that.
Let's hope he doesn't watch the playback.
Oh yeah. Well, okay. I love you.
But let's start on. We'll start in Discovery as we always do. Chat and Trek. We'll start with Discovery first. We'll go back 3 weeks. The episode "The Sanctuary," which brought us back to a bit more about Book and his home world. We met his brother. The bit more about the telepathic abilities and things that he's got, and him expressing his desire now to, I guess, become part of the crew, be it part of Starfleet and the Federation. Who knows? But he definitely wants to hang around on Discovery and help him out with the good work that they're doing. I didn't mind that episode. Did you like that ep?
I liked the concept of the episode. My issue with it, they had the locust things that were invading the planet from the oceans. See, my biggest gripe with Star Trek in general is even if it's the first time they've been to a planet, a landing party will beam down to a city or a village or a building or something, but that seems to be the only representation of the entire planet. So they get beamed down and they're walking for, let's say, an hour, and they go, oh, these things, they're so far inland. You'd be basically, not too far from the beach, from the coast, but they're so far inland. And are you talking about the entire planet or just your town? Like,
Is it just your city? Is it? Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
It didn't seem like a global thing. I mean, I think it looked gorgeous, and hats off to the production team for Discovery, that every planet they've been on, even when they're on Trill, tiny little details, like little creatures, little trees and plants in the background that look really exotic. I think they look fantastic. Visually, it looks stunning.
Oh, the show looks cinematic.
Yeah, absolutely love it.
It's really not. I mean, you think back to. It's funny. I'm during lockdown, I binged and rewatched all of Enterprise, and I've started back on Voyager now, and it's pan and scan. Like it's cropped where I'm like there's 2 big black bars down the side of my telly. Where you watch it now, and like this stuff deserves to be seen up on a mega screen at Village.
On a big screen, yeah, you probably could.
Yeah,
but it's just, I mean, Burnham. The first person she meets, 930 years in the future, is the one guy that happens to be basically the heir to an entire planet.
Yeah.
You know, like his brother is the heir apparent and makes all the, speaks for the whole planet. Like, really? It's too convenient. It's lazy writing. It's just, it bothers me. It really, really does.
Has Trek always bothered you like that, though? Because, I mean, I
have to admit, it does. They're very small. Like like I said, every town and village seems to speak for an entire planet.
Yeah.
Like, and look, I get, if the constraints of a TV show, and I'm not complaining. I still love the show. I mean, that's why I'm here. But this was too convenient. They could have just, they could have construed that a little bit differently. I don't know. I did like. Yeah, I'm reading the comments and I'm getting slammed. I know I'm just kill me now. But lucky Peter's not here to shut me up. But I did really, really like the introduction finally of the Orions. Like, is that the big bad? Because at this point, are they the good guys? And is the Federation, are they the bad guys?
Well, it's all going to come down, I think, to the research that they're doing to find out how the burn started. Was that the Federation that did it? Who knows? So,
yeah, I did look the ship battle at the end at the with Book's ship.
That was cool.
That was cool. Again, Book's ship, like, that's a really advanced ship to do that much damage to a big capital ship like that. But hey, he's got a good ship. I'll give him that. But
it's very much it's a big distance between that and Neelix having his shuttle in the shuttle bay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. But again, the people from 930 years in the past can turn up and fix a planetary problem that's been a problem for how many generations, and they can fix it all of a sudden. With their outdated 1,000-year-old technology.
And all it took was the two brothers just to sit down together and
like, what's wrong with this planet? Like, no one likes each other.
Oh, Peter's listening. Shouldn't you be working?
Exactly. So, like, were these the first two of this entire species to put their heads together? Like, literally?
Yeah.
How do they procreate? Like, how do you have special cuddles on this planet if you don't get close like that? Must be petri dishes or something. I don't know. But yeah,
overall, I didn't mind it.
Yeah, yeah. It sort of speaks about the next two episodes as well for me. I'm sorry to say that I feel really bad, but the last three episodes have rubbed me up the wrong way.
You really?
Yeah. Yeah, look, I don't know if you want to skip to Terra Firma Part 1.
Yeah.
You want to jump to that?
We move on to Terra Firma Part 1.
Before you hear me, I want to hear you. I want to hear your take on Terra Firma Part 1.
Terra Firma Part 1, I enjoyed it. I didn't know where it was going. I thought it's a bit... I'm still not convinced that it wasn't the guy at Starfleet that caused her illness, stretchy, outy, facey thingy. That's the technical term. But he was very much like, no, you need to go to this planet. And, first episode, you're watching it on its own there. You go, they rock up on a weird planet and there's a dude sitting there and you go, is it a Q?
Yeah, that's the first thing I thought. Is it a
Q?
Yeah.
But no, and then, back into the mirror universe. So they obviously jumped dimensions and then went back in time as well to even before any of this had even before any of it had happened. So I didn't mind it. I thought Terra Firma Part 1 was pretty cool. I was looking forward to Part 2.
I as a two-parter, it was obviously there to finish up Phillipa's story arc, because clearly her Section 31 show's been cancelled. It's been quietly canned. So
I know.
A decent send-off. If this was a 24-episode season, no problem. Would have loved it. I'd be cheering. Yeah, bring on, the Terran universe, the mirror universe.
Yeah. Well, if you remember, season 1 had a lot. Probably half that season was in the
Yeah, but
mirror
it was
universe.
relevant.
Yeah,
it was relevant to the story. Where in this case, it was only relevant to Giorgio's arc, which at this point doesn't seem relevant to the rest of the story. I mean, look, the whole story, I'm sure you can agree, the burn is the arc of this season.
Yeah, definitely.
What does this have to do with the burn? Do they have to waste 2 episodes of story? Because I find that it's been going really slowly. We're 13 episodes for the whole season.
Yeah.
And 2 of those episodes are just wasted with Giorgio in the mirror universe, which does nothing for the story. Like, it was her redemption, but yeah, I get it. That's great, but don't waste 2 full episodes when you've only got 13 to play with. And
do we know when, in the writing and production and everything of season 3, do we know when that Section 31 show was canned?
Look, in the last thing I read about it was quietly cancelled. They just stopped all the production. There was another show, another one they were working on, that had been at this point canned. The only one they're going ahead with is Strange New Worlds with Anson Mount.
Yeah. And the new animated one they've got as well.
Yeah, Prodigy on Nickelodeon. Yeah. And also, don't know if you heard the announcement, Lower Decks is coming on Amazon Prime.
Yes, I did hear that mid-January or something.
Yep. So everybody can legally watch it.
Yeah, that's it. Legally watch it.
Yay, legal TV shows. So the episodes themselves, like look,
it certainly wasn't. It certainly, because based that they started planting the seeds of Giorgio's illness episodes ago. This wasn't a sudden thing that they threw in. Oh, we need to wrap this up real quick. So it was obviously planned for.
So unless, and I'm just being a negative Nancy, that she will come back at some point and, be the MacGuffin, be the big redeeming, because, she got sent back to a time before the timelines diverged.
Yeah.
Which, you could say, a lot of people would say straight away that it was when the Vulcans first came to Earth and for first contact.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's where the timelines diverge, because for them to have done that, there would have to be a different mindset in humanity anyway to pull out they had AK-47s to start with, to start shooting them. So I think it would have been before that. I thanks. I'm never negative. Never. Come on.
It's constructive.
Yeah, exactly. I would have liked to have seen where she went, but look, that aside, the episodes themselves were brilliant. It was brilliant sci-fi writing and just writing in general. I mean, there was so much character development from, what you actually saw. You saw Giorgio change. And then that interaction with Saru, I loved. I thought it was brilliant. And then trusting him enough to tell him, I knew a Saru that was captain of a starship, and telling him that that they cull them. It's just a lie, just to keep them in check. The storyline was great. I was kind of hoping Lorca would turn up. They'd get Jason Isaacs.
I was hoping. Yeah, I was hoping for that too. Look, I mean, the big thing for me, when you look at it as a whole, was the guy at Starfleet that we thought of. Did he do something? Remember she was blinking at the robots and stuff at the holograms. So he had nothing to do with it. Still not convinced, but okay. As you said, where did she go? And does it open it up for her to pop up in Picard?
It could open her up to pop up in another show. Absolutely. I think they're planting the seeds for her eventually to have her own show, because she could pop up, somewhere like they might even do a whole mirror. Imagine a whole mirror universe series.
Yeah.
Where she's changed
that'd be amazing.
Own, like, come on, that would just be awesome. But like I said, I love mirror universe episodes, but I just think it was a waste of time. But given the fact we've got 13 episodes to play with, and you got a nugget of extra info about the Kiev and the ship with the with the Saru species. Why I've just gone a memory blank. The Kelpians. Sorry.
Yeah.
Memory blank. It was a Kelpian ship. So who knows? And I don't know if you saw the trailer for the teaser for the next episode. That I won't give away spoilers. It's intriguing. I can't wait to see what happens next.
Yeah. Actually,
I would have liked more about it without having to go back. But I suppose we have sort of glossed over the biggest, the biggest elephant in the room was who the guy was at the end, that big reveal.
The Guardian.
Yeah.
I think to be honest, I think it almost would have been cooler if they'd gotten to the planet and the gate, like the full-on stone Guardian gate, was just sitting there.
It was just sitting there, yeah.
Yeah, I think that would have been cooler. That would have had the fans go, yes! The way that we all do every other scene in Mando.
Yeah, they're fan servicing. They're just not fan servicing well.
Yes,
it was fan servicing, and I'm sure when they put that guy in there, they did it the way they did it, so people would say, "Oh, it's Q. It's Q. Is that going to be Q?"
Yeah.
When his voice started for a split second, oh my god, it's that John Delancey's voice, and then they're like, "Oh, yeah, it's the gate. Yeah, there we go." And then bang, the gate popped up, and I was just, really, that's a little bit cheesy. I love Discovery, and I'm the first one to defend it, but this just rubbed me up the wrong way.
Yeah. Well, actually, it's funny, Lily. She was only Ariam in season 1. They then changed actresses, and you're watching season 2. She starts appearing in background shots. So I think what that was I figure
contract.
She was contracted. They liked working with her. They went, you know what? We're going to pull you out the makeup because we're going to kill that character. So we'll give you another character, and because you're in makeup as a robot, no one will know. Because really, I didn't know. Just looking at some of the comments here. Yeah, it looked fantastic. Yeah, hiding due to the Time Wars. It's nice that they're tying in some of those elements from Enterprise. They're not completely ignoring that show, as a lot of fans tend to do in their own right. Yeah.
So they've weaved it in really well.
There you go. It's really just a big Stargate.
Yeah, exactly. Quite literally. Yeah.
Actually, no, you're right, Mark. It's funny. I read that in an article as well, that if you go back and look at the newspaper he was reading in Terra Firma Part 1, the name of the newspaper is the same newspaper that Kirk was shown. And there's all these, all these hints, but you've really got to, unless you really, and I love him, he's a good friend, unless you're Richard Arnold, we're not going to be noticing this stuff.
Yeah, kind of have a life. I don't know. I'm not going to sit at the screen with a magnifying glass, but look, that episode in the original series, that's probably one of the best episodes there were.
Yeah, that's it, exactly. It's considered one of the best.
I think I was just bad. I was hit I was smacked in the face so hard with the whole, is that Q?
Yeah.
I didn't even look at the newspaper. But like I said, and that's when he started talking, the newspaper dawned on me. He's like, oh, yeah, there we go. So look, it was as far as a send-off for Georgia, great send-off. I think it was a great
yeah. And look, and you can only hope that they've got an actress with the star power and the talent of Michelle Yeoh, basically contracted on their books. They're in contact. They work together. You can only hope they keep that relationship going and do something else with her, because she's amazing. She's
badass. Like, she's such a good character.
It's so funny. What I love is it's so funny watching her in fight scenes, because you watch them and you sit there going, she could totally kick all your asses. Everyone there on her own and not break a sweat.
Yeah. The one thing that did bother me more than anything, which I think you might agree, I think people will agree, at the end when they did that little toast in the mess hall, all the officers, senior crew, that was so tacky. All those people.
Some of the-
Oh,
it's
she
funny
was such a good person. No, she wasn't. She would have happily went bowling with your heads.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
really?
and so much of it, there is with Discovery. The only odd thing I see is that there is so much of the dialogue and things that they do like that feels forced. It looks forced, like it doesn't look natural.
That whole scene. I mean, other than Saru, that whole scene was just. It was, yeah. It was. There we go. See, though you agree, it was cringeworthy.
Yeah,
She'd run around with her heads on spikes. You know, there's no way that would just be so much. Like, come on, no way. That was funny, but anyway, that was my negative take. That's probably the most negative I've ever been towards Star Trek on the show. So,
look, and Pete seems to agree. They're running short. We need quick add in a quick filler scene. Yeah.
You know, I would have liked to have somehow. Look, I'm intrigued. Look, the sphere is, to me, such a cool thing. You know, I can't wait to see what happens. You know, put another sphere scene in. You know, let's get some more in there. I mean, to me, it's the difference between a British show and an American show. You get so much more storyline in shows that are written by British writers than American writers.
Yes.
You know,
look, and that was even a thing back in the 70s. You look at it, and it was all based. I figured that the storylines and the acting as two individual things were always better on BBC stuff, but that was purely because they had no budget to do anything else. So they had to figure out, how do we make this good and watchable? We need to up the ante, and the script writing needs to be on point. The acting needs to be on point. Where big budget American shows always had all the special effects and everything. You know, I remember that there was a show.
I was going to say, the first time I noticed it, like really full on, like I just went, oh wow. There was Torchwood was on at the same time as remember Falling Skies?
Yep.
Remember the show? They were on at the same time, so I would watch an episode of each on the same night because they aired on the same day. So you'd watch an episode of Torchwood, and then an episode of Falling Skies. And in Torchwood, so much happens, in 42 minutes. You know, there's almost a movie's worth of content, and you get things resolved. There's intrigue. There's everything in there. Falling Skies is all waffle.
Yeah,
it's people talking about things that are just so irrelevant. Like they're trying to humanize them. It's a sci-fi show. It's about aliens invading Earth. I don't want to humanize anything. Like, who gives a crap? We know. Just give me some cool storyline and content. I mean, again, in part 2 of Terra Firma, like there was some really endearing moments when Giorgio was in the brig with her, when she was talking about Michael when she was a child, and she used to fall when she used to sleepwalk, and she got the fireflies. That was gorgeous. Like, I thought it was absolutely fantastic. Just, you don't have time to do that. If the episodes are an hour, if you put it on Amazon Prime and you get an extra 15 minutes, go to town. Just, I don't know. Anyway, that's my take. I'm done. It's like The Block. That's it.
That's it. Tools down.
Yeah.
Look, the big thing is I mean, we're sitting here, we're going to discuss, we're about to start discussing Mandalorian. But when you look at, you've got Star Trek and Star Wars and Doctor Who, and if you take out the sci-fi element, they're very different genres. Star Trek has always been a drama. First and foremost, it's a drama series. It's a soap. That's the category that they're basically, in the Emmys and stuff up against. You look at the performances of Patrick Stewart and people like that, and they didn't win an acting award because there was no Best Actor in a Sci-Fi series. They were always considered for Best Actor in a Drama, which I still think, though, that they should have won stuff. But anyway.
There were so many episodes where
Star Wars is an action-adventure show.
Yeah.
So, Mandalorian. So let me. I need to change our backdrop screen. I'm just gonna. So just so everybody can see it, because I love the picture so much, I'm just gonna remove us from the feed for a second. That's just too cool.
Yep. Just in case no one, like anyone here hasn't seen it, because I like
if you haven't seen the last episode that went on, please turn off now because we are just we're gonna spoil the crap out of it.
Wow.
But look, let's go back. It's been 3 weeks. Chapter 14, if we go back to, so 3 episodes ago, we had Mando and Grogu. They end up on Jedi planet, and he goes to the top of Jedi Mountain, and then he sits there and sends up a big beam of light
from the video games.
Yeah. Okay.
That's all. Yeah. That's all that was taken straight out of the last few video games, which was really cool.
Same with the Dark Troopers were, I know, as well, weren't they?
The Dark Troopers from Dark Forces 2 originally. Yeah.
Yeah. Which that so cool. We get Boba Fett comes back in
and owns
it.
You finally get to see what a gaffy stick does.
Yeah.
You know, these stupid, weird looking, that look like a piece of weird wood. And
yeah, with this funny sort of knurling on the end there.
Yep, you get. I mean, you're like me. We go to shows, and we're on the floor of Supernova, and AMC Expo, and you see people cosplaying as Sand People, and they walk around with the gaffy sticks, and it's like, his blaster looks so much better. You've got a stick. I never diss a Tusken Raider with a curved stick.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was good. That was something special. Just seeing Boba Fett do stuff, and then
and then the destruction of the Razor Crest. All those people trying to cancel their orders for the toy for the Razor Crest. It's like, sorry, you bought it.
Yep. And I was just about to start 3D printing one too.
Don't stop. Just still do it. It's still a cool ship.
Well, I built one. I built a diorama. There it is. That ship was vaporized. I mean, that was yeah. So
it was so, and then now was it? It was the end of that episode, wasn't it? Where he sent where Mando sent the message to Moff Gideon. That was very much Liam Neeson in Taken.
No, that was the last episode.
That was the episode before it.
Chapter 15.
Oh, that was 15. Okay, that was 15. See, because it all blends. It all blends. Okay, that was chapter 15. Yeah, because because 15 is where they found. Yeah, because they had to go. They raided the base, got the coordinates, and that's how to be able to send him a message.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, in itself, obviously there's the episode with where Grogu gets taken, and then he's in his in his cell playing with stormtroopers.
How good was that?
Oh man. Look, that episode was one thing where once Boba Fett gets his armor back on, and he proves that my father Django was a foundling, and that's all done and dusted and put to bed. And now we see Slave One actually doing everyone's favorite ship. So many people love Boba Fett and Slave One, but you've only ever seen Slave One in literally one scene, well, 2 scenes really, from the original series, and then that
one of the best scenes was it showed you, I guess, you saw them sitting inside Slave One, and you saw the mechanism behind the wall as it turned.
Yep,
that was cool.
Which, look, for someone like me who builds the models, and you get to see that, it was fantastic that they've taken the time to develop that and to show it. I was yelling and screaming. I was a giddy child right then. And then the next episode, when they
chapter 15, they get the guy from the heist. They break him out of prison. Then they go down and Mando's so funny in any armor. Like, he's just sitting there so stoic, like just not responding.
I'm not in his helmet. But what I liked about that episode, it humanized the Empire. It showed you things from their perspective. One with the helmet. I can't see a thing in his helmet, and this thing's used. But then when when they get attacked, but they said the pirates, which I think were probably just the locals, just the insurgents.
Yeah.
When the TIE fighters turned up, you cheered. You were like, wow, I've never been happy to see TIE fighters before.
Yeah.
It was like, yay, the TIE fighters are here. Then TIE fighters saved the day. And then they go inside they're inside the facility, and all the other troops are, just
they're
like
all high-fiving and
like in A New Hope when Luke comes back from the Death Star. They're all cheering for them. That was I really like that. And then that obviously that interaction with the officer, and Operation Cinder, which is from Battlefront 2. You saw that happen. And the helmet, obviously, without the helmet. I thought, look, I was impressed with the way they did all that. There was a lot of callbacks. It looked good. Again, it was very simplistic. I mean, that's one thing I do find about the writing in Mandalorian. It's very simple. Like, there's no complex storyline. It's black and white. But it works. It's Star Wars. It's people walking around in costumes, in suits where you can't see their face. Like, it's to eat when they ever take it over. He said, "Okay,
so
well, you have seen Mando with the helmet on."
Yeah, it's only him. Apparently, he was. If you go back to the first episode that Katie Sackhoff was in, Lily, she explains to Mando that not all Mandalorians are like that. He was more raised by a breakaway religious nutters.
Yeah, they call them,
and that was just
want to bring back the old
this
days.
The way was very much their belief system, and it wasn't the way Mandalore was. So, which I think is probably why I think it put doubt in his mind, which is why he was more willing to take his helmet off of late, because he was like, well, okay, maybe it's not the way. If she's meant to be the leader of Mandalore,
she's taking it off. Do nice shaking. It's pressurized too, so keep that in mind. But look, I enjoyed that. The end of it, when they let him go, that she didn't end up taking him back to the prison. And then they hashed the little plan, and then we. And that was that scene where you do see the transmission where because he finds the coordinates for his ship, and then sends the mission, which is basically what he said to him at the end of season 1. Yeah. So. And then good stuff, and then just last night.
Holy shit! That last night, it just didn't stop.
Even the start, even the beginning, and that moon they went to, that planet that where the Mandalorians were, where Katie Sackhoff, where Bo-Katan were. You see her ship, which you've only ever seen. Is from Clone Wars and Rebels. That was them like, oh wow. But for someone whose favorite ship, one of my favorite ships of all time, is a Lambda class shuttle, is the Tydirium shuttle. And then you see that. That was super cool. I really enjoyed that they brought that back in. But getting that, that cast of misfits together for that breakout, for the jailbreak, I would have been happy with that.
Yeah.
Everything just went so well with that, and then I would.
I like the the black saber will cut through anything except for your armor,
except Beskar, pure Beskar.
Yeah, and it's like it's and you think about it, like they're all using it as currency. So he took all his money, and it's like us walking around in a solid suit of gold. That's what he's doing. His armor's worth so much, it's ridiculous. And then I like that he still had the spear as well.
Yeah, can't walk around with the spear. Yeah. One thing I did find a bit funny though is when he got smashed in the face multiple times by the Dark Trooper. Like it pounded his helmet. Okay, I get that.
And you saw his helmet just moving. Like the helmet's perfect because nothing can beat it, and his head's just moving further and further into the wall.
But if you remember, if you go back to the season finale of season 1, it's the finale of season 1, he gets injured with his helmet on.
He did too, with his helmet on.
He has to take it off to put the Bacta in. How did that happen? I'm gonna call that one out. That's a little bit of continuity right there. So Mark, there we go. Just pull that one out.
We'll get to the ending in a second. We'll get to the ending. You heartless bastard.
Yes. But look, everything, like they brought those characters together well. I think Katie Sackhoff still did another great job. I still buy her as Bo-Katan. I'd love to see her even more. And I believe one of the rumors are that she's in one of the new shows with the new series.
Oh, really?
Gina Carano. Yeah. Rangers of the New Republic is her and Gina Carano. That is a rumor. I heard it on the grapevine. I think that could potentially sound pretty cool. But I want to know what goes. I want to see this melee. I want to see what happens now that Mando's got the Darksaber, because he just happened to be there with Gideon.
So, all right. So we'll jump to that final scene. So Mando blew all the Dark Troopers out the airlock, and you think, yep, perfect. And then when you see, because it's all, look what's happening here. You forgot, these suckers can fly.
Yeah.
So, so it makes sense that they've just gone, and they've just turned back around and flown back in.
It was like Kill Bill.
Yeah. But then you see the X-Wing approach, and I'm like, no! No way! X-Wing! And Diane's going, who could it be? I'm like, there's only one Jedi that flies a damn X-Wing.
Sebastian Stan.
Would have been cooler. Yeah, they didn't need to. They did, but they kept the cloak up, and then they're just like, okay, but is it Ahsoka? You don't know what ship she's flying these days. She was around obviously during the war, and then you see just the one green saber come out. And it's like, yes,
because you were watching it from their perspective on the security monitors where it was black and white, so you couldn't see the color.
Yeah.
As soon as you see the lightsaber at one point, it's like, that's Luke's lightsaber. That's Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
And finally, like Boba Fett, you finally see him doing stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, he fought Darth Vader a couple of times, but they were just...
it's funny because so Boba Fett helped them break into the ship, right? And then he took off out of there, right? Because if you're writing this thing, someone's gone, and then Boba can fly back and help them, and and they've gone, but if we bring Luke back, that's not going to end well.
No, not with him and Boba Fett.
Because they do know each other, and they will try and kill each other.
Yeah. But speaking, there was actually one point. I didn't have time to write notes this afternoon, but there was one.
Awesome you're right, Chris. The black glove was the other giveaway. The one black glove.
Yeah, saw that. Yeah. But before all that, when Mando meets up with Death Watch, with the Night Owls, which you meet with Katie Sackhoff, they have that conversation, and Boba Fett's there, and she's like, "You're a sidekick. You're just a clone." Yeah. And then she's like, "I've heard that voice thousands of times." Like, that was just so good. Like, wow, what a good dig.
Yeah,
that was really, really clever. And you saw when he had that little tiff with the other girl, that move she did. I had a look, and apparently that's her signature move as a wrestler.
Yes.
So this time she did it with a jetpack.
Yeah.
As Peter Caldwell, yes, he knows who Luke is, because Luke is the one who technically put him in the Sarlacc pit.
No, but does Boba Fett know who he is? But no, Mando wouldn't know who he is.
I read that as well.
Yeah, look, to be honest, you'd find everyone on that bridge when Luke walked in, none of them would know who he is.
No one knew who he was. And
you got to remember, this is 5 years after Return of the Jedi, so we're probably talking 15 to 20 before the new trilogy.
Yeah.
So at this point, he's training Leia. He's still looking for Jedi to train. He hasn't gone all nutter Kylo Ren style yet.
My only complaint, and I said it last night, I said it to my wife last night, Mando has that connection with Grogu. So he's basically his father. And he hands him over. He's sending him away.
Well, Luke said he said he doesn't want to go. He goes, no, he's asking for
it's just that irrelevant. He never asked his name. He never once said, who are you? Who are you? How do I come and find you when I want to visit him? I want to check up. I want to pay child support. Like, he never asked for his name, and he never actually said, I wanted to hear, I'm Luke Skywalker. he asked, "Are you a Jedi?" Yes, I am. But he never said, "I'm Luke Skywalker." Never identified himself.
But again, would they even know? Maybe Gina would know, but the others wouldn't know.
But at least he has a name. I mean, if you're going to hand over your child to would you hand over your child to a complete stranger?
Yeah, well,
you've got to at least ask for their name. That was my only beef. And so, at that point, I was already like, "Holy crap!" That was just, basically, you think of Rogue One and Darth Vader in the hallway and chopping and doing all that to, and then Luke's doing it, and it just looks so much better.
Yeah,
brilliant. And then R2-D2 just
that's it. Then when R2 came around, it's like, yes!
Oh, I was like,
And what I love about this show is you go, like, I saw a few people, on Facebook commenting last night going, how the hell did they keep that secret? You know what? One, we know that Mark is the master at keeping a secret because he was the only one that knew about the line change in Empire. And he kept that quiet even from Harrison. So, Mark can keep his mouth shut. And then you think back to season 1, where all the promotional material and everything was all about Mandalorian, and it's a cowboy show and this and that. And there was nothing about Grogu at all. There was no Baby Yoda.
Yeah.
Then that reveal, everyone's just going, it's a Baby Yoda. So these guys, you know what? They're the masters at keeping a secret. No matter how big. I mean, again, even with the what was it, Rise of Skywalker, there was nothing anywhere that Harrison was going to be back in for a scene. Yeah, it was all.
Yeah, there was.
Oh, did you see it? See, I didn't see anything about it.
Yeah, he was spotted on set. He was filming. Yeah, he's filming one scene. I didn't know where it was going to be.
Yeah,
but that was.
Linda, you were not the only one. There was lots of people sobbing uncontrollably last night.
Yeah. The comment you made before about CG Luke and Sebastian Stan, because there's all the rumors that Sebastian Stan is going to be
CG Luke. Did they need to do that to his face?
I think yes.
Really?
I think look, it wasn't perfect.
I would have been happy just for a decent makeup job and some hair dye. They didn't need to do it. It's Mark Hamill.
But it looked like if you took a still, it looked like Luke Skywalker from Return of the Jedi. Like even the hair was the same. Like they had his hair was slightly longer. I think it was necessary to do that because it had to be Luke. Because he did the voice. I don't know if they wouldn't have used his face. They wouldn't have done a mocap on his face. But I think it had to be. If they're ever going to do something else with Luke Skywalker again, it will be an actor like Sebastian Stan, whoever it works out to be. But I think for this occasion, for this one scene, just for the impact, it has to be Luke. And it was really cute when you see Grogu, when he's looking at him on the screen and he's touching it, and he can sense that he obviously knows he's a Jedi. And imagine the rapport they're going to have. But what's going to happen? Like, in Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker, you find out that Kylo killed everyone except for a few. All these other so did he kill Grogu, or is he going to escape? Is he going to come back in a few hundred years as another master? Who knows? But it was, I think, having Mark Hamill's face I think that was the right call. I'm convinced that was the right way to go about it.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I said I would have been happy with it, just a makeup job and a hair dye. They didn't need to recast it. It had to be Mark. But no, I don't care. It's Mark. Color his hair, get rid of the grey, put a hairpiece on. I don't care.
Well, okay. So we can agree to disagree. I mean, they did such a good job with Tarkin in Rogue One.
Yeah.
See, there you go. See, I agree with that.
Yeah. See, that carry at the end of Rogue One, that wasn't there are better. I don't know. I've seen better, like just on people doing stuff on Facebook and things, rather than what all the money and stuff that Disney should have. I don't know. I just expect more. You know what I mean?
You just want to deep fake it.
Yeah.
Probably would have worked.
Yeah.
But look, I loved every second of that episode. I don't know, for a lot of things I've read so far on online and Facebook and YouTube videos and all that since last night, that it's I mean, not that people haven't been reinvigorated, but last night would have sealed the deal for anyone that was not any full-on fans that are sort of still discontent with the trilogy, the sequel trilogy. I think this is just, Favreau, Filoni, like, just kudos to you. Like, you've just put it back in my heart. You know what I mean? It's just
give him the keys to the place.
Yeah.
Let him do what he wants. Now, based on some of the comments here, I've invited someone in to join us. G, a good friend of mine. I've known him for many years. Has worked on many shows with me. Mark, turn around.
Hello.
How are you, mate? So Mark was commenting there that his tears last night were tears of frustration.
Yes, they were. I mean, it was a great episode, and I said in the comments I thought it was a really good episode. It built up well. It was written really well. But you get to that ending, and is there seriously one family in this universe who can sort their poo out, or get stuff done? Are we really relying on one family to keep this universe together? I think I said last year or earlier on in Mando or earlier on around Star Wars. I mean, is everyone related and everyone's a Skywalker? I mean, that was my take on Mando, at least, in terms of that, getting to that ending where, like I say, I thought the X-Wing would have sort of led in a battalion and really sort of brought in the reinforcements, but no, we got Luke again.
See, I don't know if he would have brought in the reinforcements, because I mean, if you think about, okay, so we've got to think of where people are at in the timeline and stuff at the moment. So Luke's with the New Republic, what have you, with the rebels, whatever they call themselves these days, on the planet, talks to Leia. There's a Jedi. I've sensed another Jedi. I'm going to go get him. Yep, no problems. Yep. So it's just a one-man mission. You're going to pick someone up, and he doesn't know what he's walking into, essentially.
Yeah.
Although I really did like how he made very light work of those troopers.
Oh yeah, I mean that was fantastic.
Another random Jedi that we haven't met before. Like, if it was just another Jedi that survived, that turned up, would it have had the same impact?
Well, you make a good point. Who's left? Firstly, because Order 66 did a pretty good job.
The only one I would have liked to have seen maybe was Ezra.
Remind me, because I'm far more Trek than I am Wars. I rely on G for my Wars knowledge.
So it could have been
Ezra Bridger from Rebels.
Ezra, it could have been.
Yep. Haven't gone animated yet.
And that would have been a big reveal. But that would have been a massive reveal to the people that have seen Rebels and Clone Wars, that know it. Having Luke is a mass, because now it's Luke Skywalker in The Mandalorian. So more toys. Let's do a Mandalorian Luke Skywalker figure.
Yeah.
Everyone knows Luke Skywalker. He doesn't have to stick around. We don't know what season 3 is going to be. So we've seen that. He hands him over. It's all tears, and then it finishes. We get the end credits, and then we get the end credit scene. The Book of Boba Fett starts next year. Okay, so I want to put it out there. Have you guys watched? There's a show on Netflix called The Crown. Have you guys watched that? Yeah.
Parts of it. I watched the first season.
So with The Crown, it's the story of Queen Elizabeth II, and just the royal family and everything. And every 2 seasons, they change the cast because they're jumping time. So okay, from 1920 to 1940 is one actress playing the Queen. Then 40 to 60 is another actress, and so on and so forth. Are they going to do Mandalorian in a similar approach, where season 1 and 2 is about the Mandalorian and Grogu? He's handed Grogu off to Luke. That story's done. The Book of Boba Fett, are we now seeing the next 2 seasons? Will that just be Boba Fett? Boba the Hutt?
I think it's going to be a whole new show. They announced those 10 shows.
Yep.
And I think they held that back specifically for that. And then because what I understand, season 3 is going to be how they start the spin-off. It's going to be Mando and Ahsoka looking for Ezra.
Well, okay, so
Because
let me hang on.
Also be Thrawn.
Where is it? Okay, so I'm going to put up. There we go. So you guys can see that. So these are this was the announcement made a week ago at the big Star Wars, the big Disney inventors conference or something or other. So these are all the Star Wars stuff coming, be it movies and TV shows. So Star Wars Ahsoka, right there, top and center, is a live-action Rosario Dawson TV show. Is that the one where they're going to go looking for Ezra? Obi-Wan,
I think probably where it could be her and Ezra.
Look, I mean, I've been waiting for Sabine Wren to join in as well.
Exactly.
So I reckon they could. There's so much they can do with Ahsoka's future storylines that we haven't seen. Cassian Andor there from Rogue One. We know that's going to be a live action show. Obi-Wan Kenobi. We knew about that. That's live action. That's going to be epic. Rangers of the New Republic. Again, is live action. Visions. I'm not sure. I don't remember reading much about Visions. What was that?
No,
do you remember?
Visions is not live action, and
they're animated
standalone stories.
Oh, okay. Rogue Squadron, we know is a movie. The Bad Batch, that's the one I'm looking forward to. That's going to be an animated show spun straight out of Clone
Season
Wars.
7. Yep.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Yeah. Star Wars: A Droid Story. Well, you know that's going to be a comedy type thing for the kids, sort of animated the way they've done with a lot of the Lego type stuff. The Acolyte will be interesting as well.
And that's live action as well.
Now, do we know, is Lando live action?
Lando is, yep.
Sure looks like a little summary here. It looks like it will be live action.
Yep.
Gosh, I
With,
thought I'd
Mr. Glover. He's
Glover
reprising
is attached?
the Calrissian.
Glover is attached?
Sorry?
Donald Glover's attached?
Donald Glover, yep.
Yes. He was so good.
Good recasting. Really good casting of Lando there. I thought that
Scott, let me ask you, which of those, if you could pick one of those new shows, what excites you the most?
From an animated side of things, it was Bad Batch that had me because I thought the Bad Batch were funny. I like those guys. I think Ahsoka.
Yeah?
Yeah, Ahsoka.
Okay.
What about you?
Rogue Squadron.
The movie?
Yep.
Patty Jenkins.
It's Patty Jenkins. Did you see this? She put out a featurette,
I saw that.
Was announced. I don't know if if you played the video games. There was the Rogue Squadron series of games. There were books. There were comics. Rogue Squadron will be the ultimate Top Gun. As soon as I saw that,
it very much seemed like it was Star Wars Top Gun.
Yep.
Yeah, that's how she's built. That's how she built it.
Nothing. I have never been more excited about anything Star Wars before in my life. When I saw Rogue Squadron, because that is just the ultimate.
Because you know what? Because some of the best scenes in the new trilogy were the dogfighting scenes and stuff in the X-wings.
And Rogue One did it brilliantly. I mean, it was just superb. Loved it.
Yeah. What about you, Mark?
Visuals were just fantastic.
Definitely, Rogue One, great film. I thought that's probably one of the better ones recently. In terms of what am I most excited for, I'm a bit surprised no one else said Obi-Wan. I think it'll be really interesting to re-explore those years for Obi-Wan's life, especially having Ewan McGregor back in the role. Brilliant. Of course, Disney's going to bring back whoever they can. Well, they can afford anyone. But really cool to see.
And they're bringing Hayden back in as Vader.
Interesting choice, because obviously that I guess people have different thoughts on Hayden's performance as Anakin, and They could have done something perhaps a bit different with that, and maybe just had James Earl Jones do voicing and not worry too much about who was in the suit or anything like that. But I think it was really interesting to see that.
Rogue One.
Yeah, but also in Rebels there was an episode when Ahsoka fights Vader, and it's where she finds out he's actually Anakin. The vocoder, she slashes his mask off, so half his mask, so she saw him, and then he talks, and it's his normal voice. Once the breathing unit's not connected, he can talk. And it's his voice, so it doesn't have to be James Earl Jones. So, and also being Anakin, it could be, a Force ghost of Anakin. Like, God knows what they'll do. I'm looking forward. I was really excited to see Anakin in Rise of Skywalker when he originally was supposed to be in the film. I thought that would have been amazing. Say what you want about Hayden Christensen, he did what he was supposed to do.
Yeah,
that's.
Well, isn't Obi-Wan Obi-Wan's taking? I think the Obi-Wan Kenobi series is taking place before A New Hope.
It's before
A New Hope.
There was something that came out from Disney that they did confirm there's going to be one more fight between Obi-Wan and Vader.
I remember that was one of the really big things they spooked, was that Obi-Wan and Anakin will fight again. They'll have another rematch, I suppose, between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope. Very cool to see. I mean, there's definitely a lot of age difference between that, so we'll have a lot more cooler action between them again, which would be cool to see.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be brilliant. I'm looking forward to that. Look, the ones we don't know about. Think about Lower Decks. No one had any expectation about Lower Decks. Turns out it's pretty much one of my favorite Star Trek shows ever. Like, I love.
I'm enjoying it. I was enjoying it more than this season of Discovery. When we got to this season of Discovery, I was enjoying Lower Decks more than I had, say, 1 and 2 of Discovery. I just thought the humor was fantastic, and the way that they kept canon. They keep things within canon. You've had some fantastic cameos that I really want to talk about mid-January when we get to talk about Lower Decks. But really cool to see where that's going to go as well.
Yeah,
absolutely love it. But look, I'm excited, and obviously to that lineup is Book of Boba Fett, whatever that's going to be. So there you go. He finally gets his last laugh. When that was happening, when he came in and started, taking everyone out one by one. For one, I was like, "Oh, Bib Fortuna survived. That's cool. I like how."
Yeah, I thought that too.
He's just beefed up a bit, as being king is tough work. He's walking in, and my main thought was, "You owe me money."
That's what I thought. That's what I thought.
So, but no, he's just taking over everything, which is, I'm all for that.
Yeah.
So that's 11 shows. That's a lot of content. That's a lot of Star Wars.
Yeah. No.
Well, if anyone can do it, it's Disney. I think one thing, and forgive me if it's been mentioned, but I think there was some Boba Fett news that we haven't covered off. That I think it was the last day or two. I believe we lost Jeremy Bullock.
A couple of days ago. Yeah, I've got the sad passing of Jeremy Bullock.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we did mention that.
Had he done many shows out here in Australia? Either of you got to work with him in your time?
Yes, we both. Back in the Star Walking days, he came out a few times, and we brought him out as we were branded as Hyperspace. Brought him out 3 times to Sydney, and him and his wife hosted him and his wife. I've made them dessert. Cooked dinner for them, and had dinners with them at not in restaurants, just they liked the more personal touch, so we'd have it at someone's house. And Jeremy was just such a generous, well-mannered gentleman. Like he knew he knew the reason he was there, because of the fans, and he was more than happy. He'd talk about anything. He'd offer information. And there's plenty of photos of him wearing the suit.
I've seen that.
Some friends of mine back in the day in Sydney, built a Boba Fett costume for a friend of mine. I ended up painting and helping to do that, and Jeremy put most of it on at a Star Walking event in Melbourne. It was the 25th anniversary. And he was one of the main guests. And
I imagine those guys had were pretty chuffed to see Jeremy in the actual armor as well.
Yeah,
I know that Andrew put up an interesting comment about Jeremy also being in a couple of 007 films. He was in classic Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Interesting that he was in classic Doctor Who, because I always liked the crossover where one of the old props from that era of Who was reused as a bounty hunter outfit alongside Boba Fett in Empire. One of them, I can't remember what the original character was from Doctor Who, but one of those gaudy bounty hunter outfits that one of the others had was torn straight off the set of Tom Baker's time or something around there. Yeah.
It was Tom Baker, yeah. There was also when he did a show in Sydney in the late 90s. I think it was 97. Was the first time he was able to sign headshots as Lieutenant Shackles and not just Boba Fett.
Lieutenant Shackles, sorry.
He was the officer that was holding Leia when they were walking solo in Carbonite when Luke confronted them, and she's no, Luke, it's a trap. He was the Imperial officer, and then he had his own action figure as Lieutenant Shackles. That was Jeremy Bulloch. So there was that show in Sydney in 97. I think it was 97, 96 or 97, where it was the first time he was signing headshots for Shackles as well, which was.
It's always cool when you get the sort of timing right on those events. I remember, I think it was 2009 when we had Sir Patrick out across. You had Sir Patrick in Melbourne, didn't you? 2010, sorry, yep. And I think we were one of the first cons where he was signing as Sir Patrick. And it was
we were the first show he'd done where he'd just been knighted.
Yep. Yeah, I remember that was it was just interesting the sort of detail you get with some of these shows as well.
Yeah, that's what happens when you've been doing conventions for as long as we have.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I'm at over 10 years, so I don't want to know how long you guys. You probably don't want to say how long, but I know I'm over 10 years.
I remember Peter Budd used to have hair. Is he still watching?
Watch out, Pete might still be in the comments here.
No, so Bud's got hair. I'm the one that look at that. Look at that. That's terrible.
I've never known you to have hair.
Well, sorry, for a while, that was how we used to be able to tell the difference between you and John Cryer. But since the latest crossover events, he's completely shaved his. So
that's it. I think we've had enough of your shit, Mark.
Okay, guys. I guess it's my only time here. I don't think I'll be back.
Quickly before we wrap up, while you're still there, what are you for Discovery? What are your thoughts for next week?
See, I've got to say, there's a few things I probably should have been a bit more hands-on with, because we've got kids at the moment. I didn't watch the post-credits for Mandalorian, so it's the first thing I'm doing when we wrap up. But I actually thought it was the last episode for Disco as well. I actually thought we were at the end of season 3, so I actually... good question. I guess we're getting straight back into the burn. I sort of come across this theory that it could be a final revenge from... all right, Lily. Final revenge from Mira Walker. I had 2 minutes notice I was going to be on camera. You could tell I barely got the focus going. You can tell my camera, I think, is from the time when I started working at conventions. Sorry about the blur for everyone at home who's struggling to keep up. But yeah, I think we're going to get into the burn. I think it could be a interesting revenge from Mira Walker, but that could just be me really wanting to see Jason Isaacs back on screen. Yeah. Have him come back. If Luke can show up at the last minute, bring him back as well.
Do a digital Jason Isaacs.
Well, yeah, I suppose if you can de-age him by a couple of months, I suppose. Yeah.
That'd be fun. Yeah. All right.
That's us. That's us done. That's us done. We have gotten through all of that. We have, and that's us pretty much done for the year now.
We are just about there. Yeah, I guess. So the next time you guys will get together will be after you're all hungover. All the hangovers are done for New Year's and ready to get into the episodes we've got after that.
Well, I mean, we've got no Mando anymore, so it will be definitely chatting Trek. However, we'll do our next episode. I think probably on Sunday, January 3. Gives us a couple of days to recover. But by then, the Doctor Who special will be out.
Of course. Well, there we go. There we go. What about Mando? Sorry, G, but all right. Star Wars has taken a break. Here we go.
Well, I've got Expanse
Oh, is that
You watching
still
Expanse
going?
on Amazon?
season 5.
Well,
Yeah.
my response was it's still going. Was that remind me? Was Expanse one of Brennan Braga's projects?
No,
Okay, it must be.
no. Expanse is the best science fiction on television right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have no issue making that call. Yeah, it
All
is
right.
the best written science fiction, and the production is just spot on. It's space realistic, so it's very spot on, and it's going for another. I found out 3 days ago they're getting a 6th season. So
Oh, cool.
yeah,
Fantastic. It's what you want with these big sci-fi shows that, especially throughout the 2000s. And gosh, right now, you'd think anything could get cancelled, but it's good to hear that they're trucking along with that. 6 seasons, and is that syndication at least over in the States? I know they.
no, that's on Amazon.
I don't even think that's a thing anymore.
Oh well, gosh, we're going ancient history, aren't we? That's all half the actors used to talk about back in the day.
That's
Yeah,
it.
produced by Amazon. Long story of how they picked it up and how that happened, but it was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. We had Stephen Strader Supernova a couple of shows ago, before season 4 aired on Amazon. But he was like, I was very giddy meeting Stephen Strait, who was one of the guys directly responsible for getting it back on the air. So that was a big thing. So anyway, this is not Expanse. This is Trek and Mando. So anybody wants to I'm all for it.
So our next episode in the new year will be Trek and Doctor Who.
Looking forward to it.
No, that'll be a lot of fun. So so thank you, Mark, for jumping on last minute.
Thank you for inviting me. I tore up the stairs, found a hat that was going to be all right for the camera, and very quickly opened my blinds there. I think I might have to go across to the pub that's right across the road and take the load off after this. But thanks for inviting me on. I'll be glad to step in for Pete. It's huge shoes to fill.
It is.
Very happy to do it. Huge
Fantastic.
shoes. I mean, yeah.
And G, thank you for joining me for the last 5 episodes and heading into next year. It is always a pleasure talking to you. My best to both of you and your families for Christmas and New Year, and also to everybody watching and who has watched us since the first episode, which started out as with Rona and lockdown. I got nothing else to do. I need to talk to people about this stuff. Yeah, the big experiment. So a big thank you to everybody who's watched us and supported there. Big Merry Christmas to everybody. Happy holidays. Drive safe. Stay distant. Wear a mask if we even have to anymore. I don't know. Enjoy your New Year, and we will be back after the Doctor Who, which is a New Year's special, not a Christmas special, but we'll be back with more chatting Trek in the new year. Until then, thank you so much.
Thanks, everyone. Merry Christmas.
Thanks, everyone. Happy Life Day.